This one I heard from an older coworker when we were drinking at a bar in Shinjuku. Perhaps he was just joking, but I couldn't forget the story he told. When he was much younger, perhaps 40 years ago, he said he worked in sales and there were many late nights wherein he had to keep clients company, drinking late into the morning. One night, he was trying to get home after riding the last train. Although he could barely walk in a straight line, he did his best, trotting out of the train station and into the narrow streets which he knew as a shortcut to his apartment. On his way, he had to go through a community park. As he was about to leave the sandy ground, from the corner of his eye, he saw the shape of a woman standing under a tree. He paused, curious. He was single then, he said, and was in a phase when he would try to meet every single woman he met. He took a few steps towards her. "Is there something wrong, miss?" He walked nearer to her. It was dark, plus his eyes weren't that good. He had thought she had her back to him, as darkness covered her face and most of her arms. But then as he went nearer, he realized that her body was facing him, and that her hair was so thick that it covered her upper body. Her hair was actually parted slightly, and her right eye was looking right at him. He jumped, terrified. His feet scampered before managing to rush, exiting the park. He ran, or perhaps tried to, on the street. It was awfully dead quiet around him. But soon, he realized he was hearing footsteps behind him. He stopped under a street lamp and instinctively burst out, "I'm sorry." His eyes darted around him. He saw from a distance the woman had indeed followed him. But there was something wrong with her. He could clearly see her face. Her eyes looked livid at him. And her mouth was open. The sides of her mouth were very wide, reaching almost to her ears. He let out a sound which was between a grunt and a scream. His feet bolted, running, his mind suddenly on alert. The sight of her was terrifying. Ending his story, my coworker added in a warning tone, "You won't know when you'd see a yokai until you do."